June 1993, Jurassic Park was released, becoming the most iconic blockbuster movie of all time, receiving good reviews for critics and audience. And you know when a movie gets released, there's always going to be merchandise. I'll be talking about the Jurassic Park Toyline and not the rest of the merchandise, mainly the Kenner Toyline that collectors know and love, and people who grew up with it. We're going to talk about the rise of the Toyline and the downfall of the Toyline and the company Kenner. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Zilla here. In today's video, we'll be talking about the rise and fall of the Kenner Jurassic Park toy line. But first, let's go back to the beginning, when the toy company Kenner was created. Kenner was formed in 1947 by three brothers, Albert, Philip, and Joseph, which their first ever toy was a bubble mechanic gun. Then later on, they made the Star Wars toys that people know and love and while growing up with it. Then Kenner got the license to manufacture toys for Jurassic Park in 1992, which the film and the toys will be released, and instantly becoming a hit and a very successful toy line due to how the figures were unique and special. Like the dinosaurs had realistic sculpts and texture, and their skin had a real feel, which the skin was rubber to make it a rubber feel, plus giving them a battle damaged piece and a colorful texture that they would come to life, like the T-Rex for example. When it stomped, it would roar, and the look of the T-Rex was based on the novel's appearance instead of the movie, while the figures included a dino captured gear and a baby dinosaur, while including a trading card to collect. Fun fact, the Jurassic Park figures are actually influenced or inspired by G.I. Joe, which I wanted to mention that if people were wondering why they look somewhat similar, have the same gears and stuff like that. Now it's 1994 and Kenner released a Wave 2 to their Jurassic Park toy line, which was also another successful toy line, but this time it was different. They were unique and had a nice concept to it, and they had a good guys and bad guys characters, which they were Dino Trackers and Evil Raiders, were new human figure characters for the toy line. They also redesigned or repainted the Wave 1 figures, which I do own one by the way, but they did make new dinosaurs and characters, which some of them become really rare, like the Carnosaurus, aka the Red Demon, I think that's what they call him in the toy line, and its baby version as well, and other dinosaurs and characters. Now, let's move on to the Lost World Jurassic Park toy line.
We were hunting dinosaurs, but we became the prey!
The Lost World Jurassic Park.
In 1997, Spielberg released The Lost World in theaters and becoming a very successful movie, and same with the Kenner The Lost World toys, which they did improve their figures, like making the human figures more look accurate in the film. Hey look, it's the dude who gets eaten alive by the commies. Wait a minute, why does he not look like the actor? F tier, worst Jurassic Park figure ever. They made the dinosaurs more detailed and added more dinosaurs that weren't in the film, but they were from the novel, which one of these dinosaurs toys, and my personal favorite, is the Thrasher T-Rex, one of the best Jurassic Park figures to ever own and have. And how the toy mechanic works is you grab the tail and you thrash the tail, which the part of the neck and the torso of the T-Rex's body also moves, which it comes with like a muzzle trap gear, which when you thrash the tail, it breaks the muzzle toy thing apart, which it comes with that toy by the way, which is pretty cool. And also if you open its mouth, you press like the tongue and it like bites you, which I think that's a pretty cool damn feature to have. Which this toy has become the most like iconic Jurassic Park figure line for collectors and fans to know of, which, you know, the toy is really cool. There's also been figures that are also really rare, or some that have been like scrapped or cancelled in the toy line. But with that out of the sight, now let's move on to the Kenner's downfall, where literally Kenner went downhill and everything just went to a complete disaster. And let's start off with Kenner's downfall. In 1994, Jurassic Park Chaos Effect Toyline was not a success, which led to poor sales and cancelled waves and more dinosaurs, which is the Ultimasaurus being a well-known and first Jurassic Park hybrid for collectors, but sadly wasn't released except the baby version that came with the figure. But they are prototypes, but they're only a few. But what made the Chaos Effect not successful? Well, it's because of the lack of what Kenner did, like its realistic paint, design, and it didn't have the dino damage featured in the toys, and they were reused figures from the Lost World and the original Jurassic Park line, which it didn't appeal to the audience and the collectors. Plus, they didn't like the bright colors and like neon designs, and of course the dinosaur hybrids. The fans, the collectors, and the kids did not like it because it was such a weird thing at the time. And the human figures, well...
What the? This piece of shit.
Yeah. What's even more messed up is that this Toyline was made for a cancelled animated Jurassic Park series, which was called Jurassic Park Chaos Effect, obviously, but cancelled it due to their figures receiving poor sales and Hasbro taking over Kenner in the 2000s. The concept art shows these cool and somewhat edgy and very action and adventure people and dinosaurs, and its art style looked like the Godzilla animated series. Plus, they had these cool hybrids that we could have gotten if this show actually got aired and probably the toy was successful. But now let's talk about Hasbro. In the 2000s, Hasbro fully absorbed Kenner, which aka they took over them, meant Kenner was gone. Hasbro had the license of Jurassic Park and many more that Kenner had. But how? Well, in 1987, Toyline Corporation acquired Kenner. Then in 1991, Hasbro bought Toyline Entertaining, which of course they inheriting Kenner, which now explains why Hasbro fully got Kenner and having the license that they had, which in 1999 Hasbro used their sculpts and changed their colors. And then when Jurassic Park 3 toys were released by Hasbro, they looked ass, and they're somewhat sold well, at least. Like, it was like a mixed reaction. And how they look, yeah, they look ass. The way they have their own real feel Spinosaurus, it just doesn't look very good to me. I'm gonna be so honest with you. It doesn't hit the same where how Kenner did it. You can obviously tell that Hasbro's trying to copy like Kenner's success, but it did not look well at all. The figures of JP3 look ass. Well, there you go, you guys. That was the rise and fall of the beloved company that made this childhood and very iconic Jurassic Park toys for everyone in the 90s. Kenner will be and forever be known as the most iconic toy company that's ever made iconic toys like the Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and even more, as childhood collectors that grew up from that time became collectors and started collecting them, and a lot of people remember them from that time. So like I said, Kenner will be remembered and be loved by many people who grew up in the 90s and people who are collecting them. Also, Kenner, why didn't you make a John Hammond figure at that time? What the fuck?